Come Saturday night, I'm coming in here to beat his. He gonna be tough, strong, but I'm coming to whoop his. I stand by that. I'm f***ing him up. Yeah.
You gotta think, right? It's okay. We'll accept.
I can't wait to beat this clown, bro. This dude is a clown.
Focus on me.
You better have that chin ready, baby. You better have it ready.
Real clown.
I already figured you out.
You not fighting.
What else you got, man?
Yo, senior, you're
I only
not
seen
in the
10
ring.
seconds of your fight.
I seen you fight before.
I only
You
seen
can't
10
fight.
seconds of your fight. You're boring as hell.
Come on, bro. Stop it, bro.
Boring, man. You almost got knocked out. Even your daughter said you got knocked out.
Knocked out. Tio got hurt his last fight too.
Ooh.
Didn't he get hurt his last fight?
Man, if it wasn't for those
Did
ropes.
Tio get hurt his last fight?
My son don't be throwing punches,
Did Tio
man.
get hurt his last fight?
My
I
son don't
watched
be
him.
throwing punches,
I paid
man.
attention.
Tension exploded at the Stevenson versus Lopez press event when Terence Crawford suddenly stepped in. Things escalated fast once Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez dropped the polite act and started attacking each other's egos head-on.
I think that he did some great things against them guys. I seen a lot of weaknesses in his game too, and something that he said earlier. He said, Tio never lost to Southpaw. Well, I never lost to Orthodox. So it ain't no different, but
the difference is you never fought no elite fighter.
Okay, I don't think y'all did either.
Oh, so you gotta show it, baby.
I don't think
Pressure's
y'all
on
did
you.
either. I ain't see.
Not on my son.
I ain't see Limachenko throw no punches.
You never been on a big stage like this.
I didn't see Limachenko throw punches for
You
6
never been
rounds.
on a big stage like this.
I didn't see Limachenko throw punches.
Because we
for 6
frozen.
rounds. Okay, you gonna see.
We gonna freeze you too.
You better not throw the towel.
Things intensified quickly once Teofimo's father jumped in, accusing Shakur of violating unwritten rules and bringing up past wins over names like Lomachenko and Taylor. Shakur fired back immediately, brushing those victories aside and making it clear he believes Teofimo has never faced someone on his level.
Well, I see their weakness. That's what I do. You know, we broke the code with Loma that nobody had ever done. You know, we didn't let him get comfortable in there. You saw that, you know, within like 8 rounds, he didn't know what to do. I did the same thing with Josh Taylor, and we're gonna do the same thing with Shakur.
Real hard.
Man, what do you say to that, bro? Like, you hear him, bro? I just can't wait to beat him and shut him up, bro. Tio not on this level. Tio is a high-level fighter, but he's not on my level. I'm an elite level fighter, and come January 31st, I'm gonna show it.
From that point on, the press conference completely unraveled. Shakur went after Teofimo's mindset, questioning his mental toughness, while Teofimo shot back by labeling Shakur dull and overhyped. The room turned into a shouting match, with both sides talking over each other like they were in a championship round, not a media event.
Be 100 times better come fight night against Teofimo Lopez than I was against Zepeda. 1,000 times better. Faster, sharper, stronger, mentally more on point, and I can't wait.
You said a couple of times now you see some holes in Teofimo's game. I know you don't want to give away your game plan at the kickoff press conference, but where are the weaknesses? Where are some of the weaknesses in his game?
A lot of the weaknesses is in his mental. I think it's more mental than anything. And I'm going to expose it.
The atmosphere reached its boiling point once the exchanges crossed into personal territory. The volume spiked, security stayed on edge, and it felt like the entire room was one remark away from exploding. Even when promoters like Eddie Hearn attempted to steer the conversation back toward legacy and achievement, it was too late. The fighters had completely taken control of the moment.
Thanks for the reminder, Chris. This place is special. I think when this fight was talked about, I think both Shakur and Teofimo Lopez need a huge amount of credit for making this fight. Both of the guys are the respective kings of their division. Teofimo Lopez, the #1 guy at 140. Shakur, the #1 guy at 135. And when I heard about this fight, I didn't expect it to happen. And you know, the work that His Excellency's done, Ring Magazine, to make this fight quite sensational. But the icing on the cake is to see the fight at Madison Square Garden. This is, for me, the absolute mecca of boxing.
When Turki Alashik dialed in, his calm, almost unimpressed reaction to the chaos somehow made the situation feel even heavier, like the noise had already gone too far to impress anyone watching.
This fight is the first step of crazy map of boxing next year and the beginning of 27. This is not easy fight. Thank you so much.
By the time it wrapped up, both fighters were speaking in terms of total control, breaking the other's will, embarrassing them publicly, and silencing the trash talk for good. The press conference stopped feeling like marketing and started sounding like a warning. This wasn't scripted hype. It was genuine hostility spilling into the open, and suddenly January 31st feels inevitable.
So I don't know. I don't think he can get it done against Shakur when it comes to like because it's going to be just a skill match. I don't think he's going to try to rough Shakur up, and it's probably not.
Right after the press conference exploded with emotion and ego, Teofimo's father stepped to the microphone, and the entire energy changed. The chaos faded, replaced by something colder and more deliberate. Listening to him speak, it was clear this wasn't about insults or hype. This was a strategist outlining a mindset. He brushed off comparisons and stylistic mimicry, making it clear they weren't concerned with recreations or surface-level tactics from Shakur Stevenson. The message was simple. They've seen every style before, and this camp isn't built on guessing, it's built on preparation. What stood out most was his focus on evolution and mental strength. This wasn't confidence for the cameras. It sounded like belief rooted in experience and growth.
Crawford in the past, and Crawford stated, "Oh, you want to get to me?"
Yeah, but he really wanted to fight Crawford, and we're gonna call him out after we beat up his boy. You know,
that's the game plan. Even though you guys have, even if he requires you,
well, he ain't gonna fight us, man. He ain't gonna fight us, man. We've been chasing this guy for the longest. My son is even willing to go up to 160 to fight him. You know, listen, speed kills. You know what I'm saying? Speed kills, and that's why we're gonna beat Shakur. He ain't faster than us, and we're gonna catch him.
He painted Teofimo Lopez as a fighter who keeps leveling up because he deliberately chooses risk over comfort. That's a compelling narrative, whether you buy into it or not. When he spoke about legacy outweighing paychecks, pointed to underdog wins against fighters like Lomachenko and Josh Taylor, and emphasized adapting styles from fight to fight, the conviction was unmistakable. Was it bold? Without question. Was it theatrical? Absolutely. But it also aligns with the actual arc of Teofimo's career. What stood out just as much was how casually he dismissed concerns about ring dimensions or perceived advantages. The message was clear. They aren't chasing highlight reel knockouts. They're focused on winning the mental battle, breaking opponents down through strategy and intelligence.
Okay, we do this for the legacy. So I tell my son, when I told him, let's go after Colmig, let's go after Lomachenko, let's go after Josh Taylor. And all of those three fights, he was the underdog. You know what I'm saying? And big time. I mean, with Josh Taylor, he was like 23 experts said that he was going to lose. So, and he gave us an amazing performance, and it wasn't the same as the performance he gave with Barbosa's, like his styles have changed all the time. And that's the scariest part about him, and he comes to entertain.
Sure, some of the comparisons to Crawford or Canelo might feel like a stretch, but that's baked into the confidence they're projecting. What really comes through is this. Team Lopez isn't walking and hoping for a miracle. They truly believe their mix of speed, adaptability, and forward pressure can disrupt Shakur's composure. Whether that belief holds up over 12 rounds is the real question. But psychologically, this wasn't empty talk. It was certainty. And when both camps are convinced they're sharper, quicker, and better prepared than the other, that's when fights move beyond predictions and become genuinely compelling.
Did Shakur by any chance implement a bigger ring or
We don't care about that, no? Man. I mean, we're just gonna box this dude, man. We're not going in there for the knockout. We never do. The only fight that my son looked like sloppy was with Cambosis because he was dying in there. And, he said that he felt better when he was attacking more, But we never do that. We always box.
Right after Teofimo's father finished laying out that whole mental chess argument, the atmosphere shifted once again. This time, when Andre Ward and Roy Jones Jr. weighed in. And that's when the conversation took on real weight, because now the analysis was coming from fighters who've actually lived inside moments like this. Listening to them, it felt like that seasoned, no-nonsense boxing perspective finally entered the room. They echoed what many people sensed during the press conference. Those weren't promotional sound bites, they were genuine challenges. What really stood out, though, was the distinction they drew between the two fighters. Shakur Stevenson, in their view, operates fluidly in real time. He doesn't rely on a preset plan or emotional momentum. He processes information, adjusts on the fly, and builds the fight piece by piece, almost instinctively, like an artist creating without hesitation. Teofimo Lopez, by contrast, is explosive, dangerous, and capable of moments of brilliance. But when things get chaotic, he still benefits from structure, something to reset him and bring him back into rhythm. That contrast, according to Ward and Jones, could end up being the defining factor once the bell rings.
I look at Shakur like a fighter who has a blank canvas. He's got the IQ, he got the experience, and the athleticism and the skill set where he can paint any type of picture he wants to on a blank canvas. When I look at Teofimo Lopez, he's almost that. He has a blank canvas, but he needs an outline on what to draw and what to paint inside the line. Now, every now and again, he'll go away from the outline that he has and he'll do something dope and he'll be like, "Ooh, that was cool. That wasn't on the outline right there." But I don't think that he can create on the fly like a Shakur Stevenson.
Ward and Roy aren't taking shots at Teofimo. On the contrary, they're acknowledging his cleverness. The chaos at the press conference wasn't random or careless. It was deliberate. The goal wasn't to win a verbal argument. It was to provoke Shakur into fighting with emotion instead of precision. That's high-level psychological strategy. But here's where Ward and Jones are spot on. The biggest mistake is trying to pull a calm, disciplined fighter into chaos when he already knows the intent behind it. If Shakur reacts emotionally, Teofimo's plan could work. If he remains patient, the tactic falls apart immediately. The legends even admit that if they'd been on the receiving end, things probably would have ended in a fight right then and there. But they also highlight what makes Shakur unique. He doesn't need to win the moment. He's focused on winning the fight overall. That's the distinction that matters. This matchup isn't about who talks the loudest or acts the toughest. It's about who maintains their composure when plans collapse and the fight itself starts shifting beneath their feet. That mental edge might just decide everything.
What I think is that Teo just painted the outline by being as disrespectful as he can at the press conference because he wants to try to piss this kid off so the kid come fight with him. You understand me? Because with me, he had exactly what he wanted. Because as soon as I go in there, I'm coming straight to his head. You understand where I'm coming from? So, but I think that's what he's trying to get. Yeah, you feel me? But I think that's what he's trying to get Shakur to do. Because why would you say that to a person? What does that have to do with boxing? You feel me? He knows that Shakur has great feet and he's not going to be able to catch Shakur if he lets Shakur take his time to do what he does. So he got to try to make Shakur come in and try to kill him, which is what he just did at the press conference.
Right after Ward and Roy laid out the whole blank canvas versus structured outline analysis, the conversation naturally shifted to something even more revealing: first-hand experience. That's where Keith Thurman's perspective really stands out. Now we're not talking theory. We're talking shared rounds, ring experience, and insight you can't fake. Listening to him, it's clear why Shakur Stevenson is such a nightmare matchup. Thurman isn't claiming Shakur is psychic or mystical. He's pointing out how Shakur reads opponents' movements like subtitles, a dip here, a shoulder turn there, and already knows what's coming before the other fighter fully commits that it's terrifying. Not because of raw speed, but because of how quickly he processes and reacts. And the way Thurman describes it makes it sound almost casual, like being 2 or 3 steps ahead is just second nature. That's why Shakur remains calm in the ring while others are stressed. He's not reacting late. He's reacting early, always one move ahead.
Just sparring him and then watching him, I always notice, I'm like, dang, when he, if you really pay attention to when he spar, when he fight, he already know what you want to throw before you throw it. Not because he's some type of, boxing guru or anything like that, but because he reading your body language. If you dip to this side, I'm already blocking for a possible hook or uppercut. I don't need to worry about a jab or right hand because you're not, like, the probability of you throwing that is not even, But so just watching him and sparring him, being in the ring with him, it's like, dang, you know, just him understanding what a person could throw based off their body positioning. It always put him like 2-3 steps ahead of his opponent. For sure, the most notable thing that come to mind is I remember when he fought Sander Martin. Like every time he like threw a right hand to the body, he never had his lead hand up. Sander Martin was just check hooking him to death. I'm just like when he's just gonna make the adjustment, you know, when he gonna realize that he just keep getting hit with the right hook every time he try to throw the right hand. So those are the small adjustments that he had to make because, you know, sharp fighter, they gonna capitalize. So he gotta be on his game.